in L.A. Having said that, let me go back to Houston to talk to Willie D. again. Thanks for being with us. Let me start by asking you whether or not, as an artist, you feel that rap artists themselves have a responsibility for either creating or at the very least helping to foster a climate of violence around which we see the deaths, of course, of Tupac Shakur.
Fill the room, so women make it first, Junior Mafia is the click. Act up, I have my honeys total busted.
That's right.
In the middle of the day now, baby, I seem to think of only you.
Welcome back to BET Talk. A lot of hits from Biggie Smalls in a few short years. A lot of hits there. Biggie Smalls, of course, dead at the young age of 24, died in Los Angeles this weekend due to an assassin's bullet, apparently, or bullets, I should say. Cheo, before I go back to the phone calls out in L.A., let me ask you, as I heard Chris speak earlier about black leadership, and no disrespect to my friend Chris, but I can hear black leaders across the country now yelling and screaming at their television screens, saying, how do you blame black leaders for, you know, individuals in a particular community going after one another? Where does the blame lie? I don't think black leaders are going to accept that it's their fault if these guys are wiping each other out.
No, but at the same time, I agree with Chris. There is a lack of proper black leadership. And I think that rappers, I don't know if I could cut out for a minute, rappers aren't leaders, but they do have a certain sense of responsibility because they have great power. Millions of people hear their voices. I mean, I hear rappers reference comic books all the time, and any Spider-Man readers out there will know with great power comes great responsibility. And I think rappers need to take that, you know, and I think some do and some don't. But all need to realize that they are powerful individuals because they pick up the microphone and their voice carries everywhere.
Let's go to Cecilia in New York. Cecilia, thanks for holding. You're on BET Talk.
Hi. I just wanted to agree with the caller before when she said this goes beyond Tupac and Biggie. Years ago, Scott LaRock, KRS-One DJ, was shot and killed. And, you know, after that, it was another aspiring rap artist, Stretch, that was killed in Queens. You know, this is just the overall violence that is killing our black men. To me, it seems like our black men are becoming extinct, and it really hurts me to see how another person can take someone's life and not even, I feel like this, they don't value their own life if they take another person's life.
Cecilia, thank you for your phone call. Let me move to Ken very quickly in Georgia. Ken, thanks for holding. You're on BET Talk.
Okay, thanks a lot. First of all, I say Mr. Johnson can have a lot to do with it. He can have you on for 2 hours a night, you know, instead of having Rap City on for 2 hours a night.
Well, thank you for the compliment, Ken.
But on the other hand, I'd just like to know why do so many rap artists have this edge and this anger all the time? I mean, because a lot of them are fortunate. A lot of them have come a long way. We all have come a long way. But still, after a while, you have to change over and show some appreciation instead of having this anger.
Ken raises a very... Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I ultimately think that the Notorious B.I.G. was an artist who was moving beyond his anger. Ready to Die, in his words, was a summation of his life and the lifestyle that he led up until he became an MC. After that, after he started making money and changing his life, his art will and would have changed. I don't think it's anything different than the evolution that Chris made between Criminal Minded and By Any Means Necessary.
Let me, Chalant, while you're here with me, let me ask you about, I think Ken raises a good point, because I've heard not just white folks ask this question, but black folks as well. These kids, these young people, these artists are making tons of money. Biggie talked about Stretch Lexuses and Rolexuses. I mean, these guys are living large, certainly compared to many of us. What is all this anger about? Why are they so angry, at least in their lyrics, when they're doing so much better than most of the folks who can't afford to buy their albums a lot of times?
Well, I mean, sometimes just because money doesn't soothe your wound, sometimes you might still be angry just because you got it off your chest. Like you could be at home, you have an argument with whomever, you're still mad, you had an argument, and that doesn't necessarily, money does not necessarily mean that the anger has gone away. Yes, you move, you maybe your bank account is larger or whatever, but you may still have, because other people are still going through the same things that you had to go through, you know, you still might have that anger. I can't really speak on Biggie's behalf or anybody else's behalf why they're angry, but to speak on the government and black people or black politicians having some responsibility, I just want to say there's so many intelligent people calling in, and I've heard this throughout the day, throughout the last couple of days, and when Tupac got killed, so many intelligent people calling in and with really great responses, how we need to do so much. And then you don't hear anything about this until something tragic happens. Just like with the police officers that were slain, there was so much going on here in D.C. You had thousands of people here, and we're just going to do so much, and the officers, and we had this big, huge thing over the past week, where they're cleaning up, and we got all these forces. Where was all of this before the tragedy happened?
Chris, I got a break. When we come back, I want to ask you whether or not you are, in fact, angry. I want to get you to respond to the issue that the last caller raised on the other side of this break. We'll take more of your phone calls for Chris of KRS-One and Nonchalant and Cheo out in L.A. in just a moment, so stay with us. We're back in a moment.